Good morning. Welcome to the Easter Monday edition of the AM show. We're grateful that you have joined us. Today, we have quite a lot on our plate. Make sure you stick and stay. We're going to discuss many other related issues. Look, a lot apparently has been happening not only in our country, but also across the world. And as we already know, there have been some tragic incidents that have happened in Sri Lanka, resulting in at least the death, as we have the toll now, some 290 people and over 400 others also injured, in which there were bombings that were recorded across churches and some international hotels in that country on Easter Sunday. Very sad incident. Kojo, good morning to you and thank you for joining us.
Daddy Roro, good morning to you and happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter too. How was your period of celebration?
It was
If you
a quiet
celebrated
one. It was a quiet one. I had the little boy trailing me around to a few places. He enjoyed himself, no doubt. But for me, it was calm. I didn't travel, which makes a change. I usually go to Cape Coast for Easter. Yeah, it was pretty normal by all standards, except for some of the strange things that have been happening in the news. There's all of a sudden a kidnapping alert. The police has sent it over the weekend, and it's all about this consular general and head of mission for Estonia here in Ghana, Nabil Makram Babosuho. I hope I've got his name right. Bazbuho. I give up. But this very fine gentleman was rescued by the Special Weapons and Ammunitions and Tactics Unit of the Accra Regional Security Greater Accra Regional Police Service, and they rescued him from a group of Nigerian alleged kidnappers, and we'll be telling you more about it in a while. We'll talk to Adam Bona. He joins us here in the studio for Easter Monday, and we'll talk all about that and other security issues that you ought to be concerned about. Also, I wonder if you know that Ghana is recording some alarming numbers of marital prisoners. So married couples who have committed crimes either against each other or to do with their marriage, and they've all ended up in prison. We'll tell you why when Bishop Dr. Fred Crunchy-Mensah joins us. He's the presiding bishop and general overseer of the Transformation Assembly, which is right here in Accra at the West Hills Mall. He'll join us here in the studio to have that conversation. I can't wait.
And it's a story we're all familiar with. There will be a one-week celebration for the military couple who lost their lives in the flood that were recorded in Accra over the last week. But this incident happened at Ajay Kojo last week, and Kojo was there, of course. We'll be live also from the funeral grounds. We'll tell you what the latest is relating to that, and so far what the efforts of NADMO have been in alerting citizens especially, but also bear in mind we'll bring you the latest weather report for the day. It's what we've decided to be doing each day so that we all keep ourselves abreast of the related weather numbers as it is, Kojo.
That's right, and we won't just tell you what the temperature is going to be. We'll tell you whether or not it's going to rain so that you can plan accordingly. And if you don't have to go out, don't. Because the truth is the country you're going out into is not ready, prepared, or designed to protect you when it rains. So please, if you don't have to go out, don't go out. We'll wrap it all up with some showbiz news brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water. And of course, you don't want to miss that either.
Well, definitely. So we'll try to intersperse the whole show with some latest news headlines, bring you the latest sports stories, and then we'll do some online portals, possibly myjoyonline.com, and also we'll tell you about a comedian who played a role as a history teacher who accidentally became a president, and in real life became a president of the Ukraine and won the elections by a landslide. Just think about it. Yeah, a lot of drama in life.
I'll bet the movie had quite a lot to do with the number of votes that he got. People were able to picture him as president because he had played that role. Wow. And also he in the role he played, he became an unlikely president. So in real life, people thought, you know what, maybe that's what we need, an unlikely president. I know some Ghanaians think that sometimes. But of course, we'll bring you all of those details later on the show.
In the meantime, though, we have to bring you the morning message. And as we do that, please know that you can get interactive on Facebook, Joy News on TV. We're always streaming the live. That's a good thing about our show, and also all the programming on the channel. And then you can watch us live on My Joy Online TV, which is a channel also on YouTube. Now we have to bring you the morning motivation. Could you take it up?
Thank you. And today's message is called The Hidden Lesson. You know, Easter teaches us so many lessons about forgiveness, sacrifice, endurance, trust, betrayal, tolerance, repentance, dignity, responsibility, love, hope, faith, all the wonderful lessons that the death and resurrection of Jesus teaches us. But this year, a hidden message occurred to me during a chat I had with my father on Good Friday. And I've always wondered about a couple of things, you know. Jesus said in the run-up to his crucifixion, he said a number of things, and I've wondered about some of them. The first one was when he was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he said, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me." Now, this expression has never sat well with me because it clearly indicated that for a moment, Jesus really didn't want to go ahead and fulfill God's will by sacrificing his life. I mean, understandably so, since he must have foreseen the degradation and suffering that was to come. Still, I imagine God didn't feel too great hearing his son suggest that he cancel the most important plan he has ever made for mankind because Jesus had cold feet. The second comment Jesus made that I didn't quite understand was on the cross. You know, when at 3 o'clock thereabouts, he cried in an anguished voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Again, I thought, Jesus, for someone who knows God better than any human, you really have a low estimation of his faithfulness if you think just because you are going through such atrocious hardships, God must have abandoned you. Again, I thought God must have been so disappointed to hear Jesus saying those words. Now, if, of course, I can't even begin to comprehend the ways, let alone the thoughts of the Almighty, but if I ever had any questions about how upset he must have been with Jesus, well, he clearly can't have been that mad because he raised the guy from the dead, right? 3 days later. So either God was not offended or he forgave Jesus, right? I'm inclined to believe the latter because it's clear that with those two statements, Jesus was exhibiting fear, which is a very human flaw, a flaw for which God forgives us, his earthly children, every day. So how much more his only begotten Son? Bear in mind, this fear is also a flaw which Jesus overcame in order to accomplish his mission. Now that ought to have meant something to God. Anyway, if I'm right and God forgave Jesus for those moments of fear, then that for me is the biggest Easter message yet undiscovered. So often as humans, people say things that hurt us. They put us down with their words. They rob us of our dignity. Husbands do it to wives, wives to husbands, parents to children, and vice versa. It happens between students and teachers, bosses and employees. In every human interaction, there is the danger of saying the wrong thing and causing irreparable damage. Now, what makes the damage irreparable is the strength with which we hold on to grudges. Words hurt, but only when we keep a hold of them. So, my dear friends, who has wronged you? Who have you not spoken to in years? Who do you secretly miss but publicly hate? It's Easter. And my message to you is this: even Jesus was capable of saying the wrong thing. How much less you and I? Let it go, as God did, and resurrect that dead friendship. But here's the trick. When Jesus arose, even his own disciples couldn't recognize him. That means he arose with a new body. The old one had served its purpose and was no longer needed, so he emerged from death as someone new. And sometimes relationships are meant to teach you a certain lesson. Once that lesson is learned, the relationship has fulfilled its purpose. Perhaps you were meant to work under that tyrannical boss so that you learn patience. Or maybe you married that gold digger so that you will learn how to manage your money better. Or maybe you were assigned that mean supervisor so that you will be forced to improve your skills in whatever job you do. Maybe that big-breasted, overly flirtatious, inappropriately dressed woman was sent to your office to teach you self-control. If these relationships went sour and you're holding on to the words and deeds that hurt you, then let it go. It's Easter. Forgive them. But don't just restore an old, outdated relationship that has outlived its purpose. Start a new one. Create something new out of the death of something old. That is the hidden lesson of Easter. My name is Kojo Youngson, and it's Easter, so out with the old and in with the new. Good morning, Ghana folk.